I have loved having pen pals over the years. It has not only been a creative outlet for me, but it's also been a great way to stay in touch with friends from far away. So whether you're new to having pen pals or want some creative tips, I'm here to help. Pen pals are a great way to slow down, be creative, and take a break from our busy lives. So today I'm going to share my top tips to get started, the supplies you'll need, and hopefully inspire you to bring some joy to someone's mailbox. Welcome to my pen pal series. Hey everybody, Jacqueline here. I'm super duper excited to share this series with you. I have always loved being a pen pal, and I hope that by you clicking on this video, you want to learn more about being a pen pal or getting more ideas. I've split it up into 3 parts because I figured while you're on your pen pal journey, you'll need to know different things along the way. And I realized I had a lot to say, so that's why there's 3 wonderful parts for you. I hope you enjoy all of them. So let's dive into part 1, where I tell you about pen pals, what they are, how I got into it, and the materials you need to get started, and those fun little extra goodies that you can put in your pen pal letters if you decide to do that. So let's go. It's a simple question, but you might be asking yourself, what is a pen pal? A pen pal is someone that you exchange letters with. It's a way of communicating, to slow down in life, to write postcards, to write letters, and just get to know this person on the other side of these letters when they send it to you and you send it to them. So it's just a really simple way of connecting with another human being. So how did I get into pen paling? First of all, as a kid, my parents signed myself and my sister up with an international pen pal. She had someone from France and I had someone from Southern Africa. And it was so cool to get to know this other girl, roughly my age, living in another country. And this was in the 90s, so it was like before all the online presence of social media and whatnot. So it was really, really cool to begin my pen paling journey as a young kid. Now, I didn't write this person very often, as they did not write me very often either, as that might be your case where you might have done it as a kid, but then you fell out of it. But I also have a friend since we were 6 years old. We have been friends, so it's been nearly 30 years now, and we have been pen paling for years. All throughout our 20s, we used to write letters as kids. We hang out, but we don't really text or message each other on social media as much as we write letters to one another. And I'm going to show you some clips of the very innovative, cool, creative ways that my friend has written me letters and we've sent things back and forth. She does really cool things where she'll use her old typewriter. She'll send me fun little goodies in it. I will draw little pictures for her. It's just been a really fun, ongoing thing that in our 20s and now into our 30s, we have just had a lot of fun still writing each other letters. So that's something that has kept me motivated by actually having a friend that wants to keep writing letters as we get older. And I see ourselves forever doing this well into our 50s, 60s, 70s. I see us always writing one another. Another way that I have continued doing pen pal letters is I love to send postcards. That is my simple way of getting started and also continuing to stay in touch with people. So as I travel, that's like the perfect time to find another postcard from another country or another state or another national park that I've been to. And every time we go, I always check out the postcard section. I grab a few. I'll send them to my mother-in-law, I'll send it to my grandma, I'll send it to my friends, I'll send it to, sometimes I'll get on social media and be like, hey, I'm here, I'm writing postcards, would you like one? Send me your address. And I've had people where I've just sent one postcard to in the past many years. So that's another way that I like to continue being a pen pal and communicate and chat with friends. I really got into pen paling with multiple people a handful of years ago when my husband and I worked and lived in the Grand Teton National Park. He worked at the front desk of the lodge and I worked at the gift shop. And there was a lot of downtime in the gift shop, and I did all my sprucing and cleaning and restocking of things that sometimes late into the night when no one was there buying gifts, I would sit there and I would write letters. I had this little pad of scrap paper and I would sit there and I would just write about what I had been doing in the Tetons, like when we'd go out and hike, or the boringness of my job right then, and I would ask questions to friends. And I had a lot more time because I couldn't go anywhere or be distracted by lots of other things besides my work. Disclaimer, I did do a lot of work, but also I wrote letters. So that was the summer that I was writing lots of letters, and it was really cool because when I was done with my shift and I knew I had some mail in my little mail cubby, it was always so exciting to go to the little mail area. I would get letters from a ton of different friends that I had written things to, and I think that summer they wrote a lot more too because I was actually writing them, they were writing me. We were actually writing letters like on a weekly basis. So that was a really big turning point for me into continuing to write letters. Other ways that I've pen palled is when my husband and I used to travel and live in our creepy white van, as we called it, Moonbeam, that was our van's name. But we used to travel and live around in it, and I would write mostly postcards, but sometimes letters to my friends. I was moving around so much that my friends didn't really have a consistent address to send them back to me. So we ended up getting a P.O. box of sorts through a business that my friends and family could write letters there, and then I could pay to have them mail it to me wherever I was. So there's ways, even when you're traveling, of getting around being able to receive letters even when you're on the go. And then this has even crept into my work. As a wedding photographer, I even send snail mail to my couples. I'll send them postcards, I'll send them little letters, I'll send them little notes. It's just another way that I bring the written word, like how I'm writing. It's not just texts or emails or Instagram messages or any of that. It's just another way that I'm able to write out beautiful words, simple words, whatever I'm feeling, and make it fun as well as I send it to my couples, my friends, my families. It's just a really, really fun thing to do. But enough about me chatting about how I got into it, and maybe you've resonated with any of those type of stories as a kid or an adult or traveling or whatnot. I'm going to now dive into the materials that you need. So these simple basics of the materials that you need is a pen, pencil, whatever, a writing utensil, paper, note card, something that you can write on, an envelope to be able to send it, and some sort of stamp. That is the basic materials that you need. Now you can add extras, which I will get into later, but the basics are those 4 main things. Another thing that you can do is you could do digital pen paling. If you don't have any of these things, you can't start this way, you can digitally be a pen pal. You can do emails, there's websites that I'll tell you about, there's apps that I'll tell you about, and you can do a more digital online pen pal, although I will say handwritten notes are a little bit extra special. So you might be wondering, what are some of the extras that you can do? I have a download for you down below of a long list of extras, but I'm going to show you what I particularly have here today on my desk to show you and give you inspiration and some ideas as to what you can add. Now, you don't have to do any of this. You really don't. A lot of my letters to my friends is literally that. Just a letter, just a note card, just a postcard. I don't always add extras, but I think sometimes it's really nice to get little extra bits of magical goodiness. A tip about these extra goodies is you want to keep them small, you want to keep them flat, and you want to keep them lightweight. If your letter starts becoming a little too heavy, you might have to spend more on postage. So I try to keep things really tiny and small. First things are things like tea bags. Tea bags are nice and flat, they're lightweight, and they're a very sweet way to have your friends or family or whoever your pen pal is to try out some of your favorite teas. And I also like to sometimes send face masks, because this is a little treat myself thing that I do. This is like $2 from Target that I like to do. So sometimes I'll send that to my friends as well. And then also you could do seed packets. If you are a gardener and you collect your seeds, you could send seeds to your friends. And I wanted to start with those first 3 because you want to make sure that whatever country you're sending it to, you are allowed to send those things. Can you send a face mask, tea, or little seeds of plants and flowers and stuff? So double check online to see if you can even send those. But if you can, that's always a sweet little thing to add into your note. Another simple thing that you can do with just pieces of paper is you can create different things. I have a recipe of some pumpkin spice scones that I've been baking recently, so I'm going to give a recipe to a friend. I also created a check this out little list, and these are different things I thought that they might like. A movie that I'm really into lately, a book that I've been reading, and a song that I've been listening to on repeat, so in case they want to have some new music or different things. And this one's really fun. In a previous video, I created a whole little mini palette of watercolor paints for a friend, and I thought I could also make little dot cards, because then I can pick 3 colors. You can do multiple colors if you want, and you can tuck that into your letter as well. So if you have a friend who likes painting or who wants to kind of dabble in a little bit of watercolor, that's what these are, because you can re-wet them. I wouldn't suggest putting acrylic or something that will dry and they can't reuse, but watercolor is a perfect little thing to make a cute little dot card for all your artist pen pals. And you can do lots of things with just a scrap piece of paper, a little post-it note. I've seen people do like cute little this or that's, and they can circle it, so it's kind of like a fun little game. I also like to add in actual little game things. So I'm a huge fan of Sudoku. I've gone through a few Sudoku books. I really enjoy them. So I just ripped some out of my current book, and I'm just going to tuck that into a letter as well, because it's just a fun little brain game teaser that you can do. You could do crossword, you could do word search like finders. I found a site online for like teachers because they could make it for their classroom. So a couple of months ago, I created 2 for 2 of my friends, and with them, since I could just write whatever words I wanted and then it would generate it, I wrote up inside joke words. I wrote up things like my friend that we've been friends since we were like children. I thought of the cute kid things that we did. We used to pretend our names were Ethel and Mildred, and that was like our first pen pal experience. We would write each other like we were these characters in our own book or story. So I wrote those names out. And then my other friend, she's a musician. So we've gone to concerts together and listened to bands play and our favorite bands. So I wrote those out as well. So when I sent it to them, they told me, they were like, oh my gosh, I sat down, I read your letter, I did the cute little word search, because it's like super simple and easy. So that's another fun, cute thing that you can do as well, of adding fun little like games for your pen pals to do. So it gives them a fun activity. You can also just add cute things. You don't have to make it a personalized thing of recipes or games or any of that. Sometimes you can just add little trinkets and things in there. So stickers are always a fantastic thing to add. You can decorate with your stickers, or you could just take a sticker, put it in there, and maybe they love putting stickers on their water bottle or their notebooks or something. So you can always give them a cute little sticker. You can also, if you have a Polaroid camera, or maybe you have a printer that you just want to print off some photos, you can always take a photo and you can put it in there as well. Right here I wrote that these were the cherry blossoms when I was in Oregon, and I could send that to someone. You could also cut out comic strips from the newspaper. You can, if you have extra pieces of scrap fabric and the person you're sending to loves to sew, you could send them extra little bits of fabric. You could send them temporary tattoos. You could send them cards, like a tarot card or a playing card or something. Like, you can just add such cute little things. Whatever is flat, tiny, lightweight, pop that right into your little envelope and you can send that to them. And when they open it, they're just going to be super excited about it. So there are many more. I won't go into any more. I just did what I had here. But I do have that free download in the description below for you if you need more ideas. But you can also look on Pinterest. You can look online and see the bajillion things that you can add to your pen pal letter. So then once you add all of those little bits, if you want to, you can wrap up your contents into cute little bundles. You can use yarn, string, ribbon to tie it all up. You could put it in little tiny envelopes, and you could just make it a fun experience for the person that you were sending this letter to not only get your letter, but also get another little tiny bundle of extra goodies. And if you do have all those little bits, I like to kind of label each thing. Sometimes I'm like, read this first, and then read this second, and then open me third or something, so that they can kind of have this fun progression of how you want them to open the letter. Now, of course, they can do whatever they want. They can open the goodies first if they want, but sometimes it feels like a fun little, like, I don't know, treasure hunt, scavenger hunt type of vibe to it as they're going through each piece that you have sent. So with your envelope, I usually just have a handful of plain envelopes sitting around. You can decorate this as well. You can be as simple as using calligraphy to write their name and their address. You could doodle around the edges with a Sharpie. You can add scraps of paper or fabric or something and collage on the front of this. You can get real creative with the front of your envelope. I also have a friend that likes to seal her letters, whether it's her letters or even her envelope, with like the wax seals. So you can do the whole like over a candle flame, melt the wax, and then use your little press. I don't have one, but my friend has one. Or you can also get, I've seen those hot glue gun, like glue that's colored that you can just more easily put it onto your envelope or your letter and then use your little stamp press thing. So you can also be fancy like that if you want to. So you might be wondering, where can I get all of these goodies? My favorite place to look is thrift stores. You've seen in my previous videos about how much I love thrifting. So one area I like to go to, especially when I go to like Goodwill or something, is I go to the stationery section. That's where there'll be notebooks, there'll be extra papers, binders. Sometimes I'll find stickers. You can even sometimes find art supplies there. You can find extra ribbon or string. Sometimes they have like those grab bags that have a whole bunch of little bits in it. So check your local thrift stores to see if there's anything there, because that's going to be one of the cheapest ways that you can go get different little goodies to put into your letters. And another place which I don't use but I've heard of is like the dollar store. You could go there to get stickers or papers or different little things. You can even get confetti if you want to put confetti and make a burst of openness for your pen pal. Although I would probably write, just be careful when you're opening this if you don't want to have like confetti everywhere. It is very fun to open a letter with confetti, but it also is a mess. So just, give your pen pal maybe a tiny heads up if you're going to include that, or just include a little bit. And you can also check your craft stores. You could check the sale bins. You can walk up and down the aisles to see if there's cute little things that you want to add in. You could also, if you find a whole bunch of tiny beads or something at the craft store, make a friendship bracelet, because you can't be too old to have a friendship bracelet. And I think that would be really fun to wear. Maybe not every day, but just, on your weekends when you're out and about, be like, yeah, my pen pal made that for me. I hope you found that helpful and that you'll join me next week for part 2, where I go into how to find your pen pal. So I will see you all next week. Cheers.